Hello everyone and welcome to Christmas Hobby Vlog, and we're going to use Train Sim now to make it a little bit more interesting than just me sitting here rabbiting to the camera. So it's going to get this train ready to depart Kidderminster, which I could have done before hitting record admittedly, but hey, my videos are completely unplanned in many ways. It's kind of scary. Yes, so TT120. Now, I already did one video on the, do you think that's wise level, and by the sort of next day, sort of like convinced, by that sort of evening, sort of being convinced myself to stick with it, give it a try. Did the video on the different items of, the buildings and how they're available, which were really good, but it was still in the back of my head the whole time about the total almost lack of support from a lot of places. And of course in important areas such as rolling stock, which is part of my thing now, because I have a bit of a penchant for a certain railway company, and I'm not sure really this video is going to give any clues to which railway company that is initially, but I mean, yeah, just checking the train down here, and I can't see any sort of hints anywhere at a railway company that I might be interested in. But very fondly. But we'll just have to carry on and assume that we all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, but basically there is no loco coming up for quite some time for that company. The castle is only on its way on the Excel spreadsheet type cells that exist in the catalogue, and the pannier is in the writing further on. So yeah, we're not even sure what's going on with those at the minute, and really how far away we are from them. It could be 2 years yet before we see the castle. And now my thought was, and I had a thought, no, my two options really, is to give up and go back to the Blow, because N is just a non-starter for me. Or stick with it and build a layout to get the buildings and everything in place, get it all ready, and hope Train Sim will cover what I want it to do. Couldn't be able to run trains because I've got a king now. Okay, it's not a king in Great Western Livery. I need to get the proper kings from Caledonia Works. However, we will depart Kidderminster with this one, King George VI, and make our way up to Bridgnorth station by station, hopefully making it a bit more interesting for you folks. This is attempt number 2 to film it, so I tried it with the Manor earlier. Right, J50 here, strategically placed J50, because obviously that caught us also by surprise, so shows not necessarily will it be multiple years waiting for locos, and I did wonder if someone wouldn't do a new body for the J50 chassis with a 9400 or something. Looks about the same sort of size wheelbase wise. Not looked at the exact dimensions myself, but sort of it would look alright, I think. So yeah, that'd be great. And I still would like to be part of that positive community and positive voice for TT120. It's not for me at this point, I don't think. I think the problem is I've had a railway before where I've made it waiting for release of a model. Now, admittedly, that was a model from Dapol, which still has not been released. And bearing in mind, I was doing this layout in around 2014, 2015. The Q1s were the only things out for the Southern, really, at that time, apart from the Terrier, if you can get hold of it, or the old Farish light Pacifics, but the Dapol one had been announced. Oh, brilliant! Get this out ready for that. Get some other bits. Had a Thunderbolt tank, 2 Q1s, so the only real southern region stuff I had. The Terrier wasn't in production at the time, and the Ns and the Cs weren't even a glint in Farish's eye. Yeah, so it sort of, that one was a nice layout, but the enthusiasm petered out quite quickly, because it's like, oh, I'm really waiting for one of these, and then it's hopefully something else. Then the end did get announced, like, oh great, so we'll have the end afterwards. Yeah, so that was a bit sort of like, okay. Is it going to be a viable thing doing the same sort of idea again with the hope of a GBR engine to be released? Maybe another manufacturer might jump on board. Obviously, to say they're so unsupported at the NEC show, I was quite surprised by that, and here we are 2 years in, and rolling stock wise, all we've had is some wagons from Pico, which I'm hearing there's major issues with them Boeing, and not sort of not being that great out of the box, not having them couplings, which is a bit of a downer, considering that one of the things I was sort of selling myself on was the fact that I could swap out the couplings for Dapol easy shunts. Yeah, so that's basically, I'm not entirely sure it's a great idea, because train sim, as great as it is, and it really has kept me entertained quite a lot over the years. I mean, for example, here I am driving a King that's long gone to the scrapyard. Okay, not in Great Western livery, but hauling a nice train of Great Western stock. And I'm driving on my favourite heritage line, standard gauge heritage line in the country. Yeah, you know, I won't try and claim I gave TT120 a fair trial, as it were, and I also wouldn't say I wouldn't want to come back to it, and I shall continue watching PG's channel and Mac Models Greg. I want to continue watching him and keeping up to date with what's going on. Keep an eye on it all. I think at the minute the best idea is for me to go back to Double O. I nearly went O gauge. I'll let you into that secret. I nearly went O gauge recently. 30 miles an hour is not too bad. It's only 5 miles over. Claim speedo's broken. So just 25. Not sure what's going on with the sound. That's getting rather irritating. But oh, look at that. That's rather nice, isn't it? But it's one of those things where you've got to make the best call for yourself, haven't you? You've got to like decide that, and it's one of those things you can't really ask people. I know I've asked in the past and that, but you've got to make the decision yourself. Only you can answer this question truly, and then that'll be the same sort of idea again. But yeah, there is something about a physical model that is just that much more enjoyable for me, I think. So that really answers the question, really, isn't it? One of the really nice things though with the GWR as opposed to the LMS, and they're always going to be like that, but the Great Western is always going to be my actual favourite. Despite being, for a long time, a very LNER person, an incredible amount of time, longer than I've been Great Western. And I do sometimes wonder if I shouldn't give the LNER a proper chance, and something like Train Sim is a really good environment to test that sort of thing out, because you can do it. I've got quite a lot of engines over the years, so I've got a lot of LNER ones. In fact, at one point I had every LNER and every Great Western engine that you could get for the sim. I had it. So yeah, maybe I do have to look at the LNER again. What do we think? A4s and things like that. Okay, I've just done the ROD into LMS livery. It wouldn't take 2 seconds to take that off and put it into LNER livery. It's not had the number plate put on the front yet, or anything like that. So, yeah, you know, it's one of those. Let me know what you think down below. LNER Great Western, I know there's a lot of anti-Great Western sentiment out there, so try and keep it factual if you do. Say something, but be interested to see what you think. But again, that's only a question I can really answer myself, so perhaps we do want to slow down a little bit here. Don't know what the brakes are like on these ones. I've not driven the Payton engines for quite some time. The Payton, not the Payton, yeah, the Riviera engines. Quite some time. As you can see here, we've got Manor, Pannier, Duke Dog. We were meant to have the Manor doing the video. But for some reason, Train Sim decided it wouldn't couple to the coaches, which is another reason why Train Sim just won't cut it. At least, even if it refuses to couple, you know, without the hand of God, as it were, the big hand in the sky, you can always use the big hand in the sky and force the matter. make it see your way. Excuse me. So yeah. Sorry. Aren't you all glad that I put the microphone up first? But yeah, so it is a shame. I will keep my eye on TT120 and see what we can do with regards to that. I'm not going to cut it off in the future either, just because it's not worked out now. But yeah, so that's basically the long and short of it. It's only taken us to get to Bewdley. It's quite interesting. I thought it might take longer than that, knowing how much I can go on. But yes, I think what I'll do now is I will keep playing some Train Sim, ironically, and see which one I want to go for. Now, something with the LNER whistles, I wasn't keen on the high pitchness of the whistles. Whereas the yeah, is a high pitched one. It's not quite so squeaky. I'll tell you what, as it's only taken us this long to get here, let's just quit this, and I'll demonstrate what I mean, because we can now. Seeing all the behind the scenes stuff, you get to see all this. Let's hit start on that one, the Great Central. Another nice standard gauge line, but not necessarily my favourite one. But yeah, so in which case I am looking at doing a stream on Saturday night. Now I was going to go to the Severn Valley Model Railway show, and I was originally going to meet a friend there, and then I said, oh, if they're not going, I won't go. And then I thought, well, no, actually I will go. And ultimately, no, I'm going to take a break a bit. Don't you dare crash Train Sim. I'm watching you. This is another good reason why not to rely on it. Nice to see that getting some some love, because I did get that at the Antonuka Choo Choo, but it wasn't that good. But it's nice to see that getting some hit as well, some love. But yeah, so what do you do while you look at a loading screen? But that's just superb pitch, that one. Oh, there we are. So yeah, it's just a case of me now having to decide between the two companies, which sounds all very familiar now, doesn't it? But yeah, you see some lovely engines. As I say, I was a very long time. I mean, we're talking 2004. Yeah, it will be. 2004 at the North Yorkshire Moors rally when I fell for Green Arrow. That would be. And before that, also, it's Mallard. Sitting in Mallard when you're 5 has a big impact on you. I've seen that in Steam in that livery. I've seen one of them, not in Steam. I've seen one of them in Steam. And that is the Great Central's actual one currently as well. It is LNER number. I'm not sure if it carried that variation of it. I don't know if I've seen the J15 in Steam. And here we've got Thompson's over there and Grizzly's over here. Here I am stuck in the middle of his U-lot. Obviously, an NER session is not complete without Mallard. So locomotive variety is quite interesting. I mean, I'd love to see one of those RTR. Obviously, D280 is a good one on the cards. Now, AH Peppercorn did appear in NER livery, just you can't get into the game that way, so I put it here. It's not even drivable, but it is there with an NER tender. Obviously, you can get that from Sonic models, or you can get them. They're out there. It'd be nice to try and track one of those down. It'd be a nice engine for a layout like this. And of course, should anyone do a nice new 8F, because the Hornby one is very old and very tired now, then there is the 06 as well. But we were here to look at whistles, weren't we? Just trying to think what's going to be the best one for it. I know. And I'll start from here. Once I cut the video, I'll start from here as my oh, okay. I'll start from here as my testing, see what I like. But yes, do leave me what your opinions are down below. I'm interested to see where people lean towards Great Western or NER. I know there's some irony there because LNER is very well supported in TT120, but so that whistle's fine. Same with the 04, that'd be a useless one to show you. I need to show you something Great Northern, really. So we're going to use the Atlantic. Just feels like it's driving the brakes on. No, it is good, alright. But yes. And also you've got a few more livery variations than anything else. The one thing about the Great Western is it's very... The livery is absolutely gorgeous, but it's very one... It really is driving like it's got brakes pinned on. And obviously, I can even still have the layout being called... What was I driving the brakes on? No, I wasn't, because that said 21%. On the 21 inches. Oh, whatever. Okay, that's a weird whistle. That's better. So the B whistle's much better on this one than the spacebar one. Spacebar. B. Right. Obviously, for the purposes of showing you a whistle, I don't need to be doing quite all this, but I might as well prepare my engine and do it in the context of preparing my engine for the days running. So there's my Atlantic, which of course models were available. So I'll try the baseball whistle first. And then the bee whistle. See what I mean? It's a very squeaky whistle. Almost, but it is very, very squeaky. But it's how that translates into DCC sound. I mean, folks, if you know, let me know in the comments. How do your LNER engines sound that have that high pitch one? Now, Flying Scotsman, you got to watch a little bit because sometimes you get a chime on that, or Tornado, you get a chime on those. But they do also have more correct whistles as well. So yeah, if you've got set DC sound, let me know, because it's the only thing really is a slight put off. But obviously, there is a slight put off on the Growler side of things, in the fact that most of the engines do look alike. Has to be said. You got to my mind, if you can be honest with yourself, and when you appreciate a railway company, things like that you can appreciate. You sort of just like, yeah. I never worked for the YouTuber. I've not got company pride to worry about. Oh my god, the brakes on this are a bit atrocious. It's going to take a bit of getting used to, folks. But you just turn the momentum down on that on the DCC controller. But yeah, so if you've got LNER engines with DCC sound that have the high pitch whistle like that, how is it? Does it irritate your ears? I suppose you could always turn the sound down a bit, so it's not quite so loud, maybe. But that reminds me, I really need to sort. Oh, hello! I hate it when that happens. I really need to sort this out with some more stock on the tracks out there to make it more interesting. But yeah. And then the last one is just the one down here at Leicester North. Right. But yeah, so let me know and I'll speak to you all soon. And I'll have a think myself as well, see what I think to it all. And I may even have a decision. I mean, I could always run, if I connect up the analog controller, sorry, then I can run a session with an LNER engine. I've got V2, B1, the A4 behind me, the 04 could run, even though it's got LMS on it. It could become an 04. But I would be tempted actually maybe to get an actual 04 if I can keep that one as it is, because I kind of like that one, and its LMS livery. It's looking quite nice, quite smart, and it suits what it is. But yes, anyway, till then, I will play trains and speak to you all soon. Take care, and goodbye.